Hope you all are doing well. I posted earlier today about how I need to get this house a little more clean and organized, and I'm just going to start up right up front with one of the biggest hacks or tips that I have if you're having trouble getting motivated, staying motivated with certain things, is just provide yourself with some accountability. And so that's what I'm going to do to make this a little more fun. Yeah, you could turn on music or whatever, but in this particular case, I know I need a little bit more than that. So I figure I'm going to just turn on, go live, hang out with you, ask any questions as I see them come on up. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring in, actually, I'll go ahead and take it over with me. So I'm going to go bring in my laptop as well from the other room because I think I can see questions a little bit better on there and be looking in two different places at once. But I hope everybody is doing well today. Let's get the laptop all unplugged here. And we are going to do our absolute best to get things organized. I have a bunch of eBay sales that I made over the hurricane, which need to be shipped out by tomorrow. I put my store on vacation just through Wednesday, just so I had extra margin. But so we're going to do that. Let me get this up on the other screen here, or try to at least. So yeah, I'm going to be just hanging out. If you've got any sort of side hustle questions that you want answered, we're going to do that as well throughout this time. And you can just hang out. If you're just kind of working, cleaning, organizing yourself, I'll kind of share a little bit about what's going on with all of that. Let's see, that's the actual switch over here. But yeah, so we are going to just do that. We're going to clean, we're going to organize. I'm going to take a trip over to the storage locker here in just a little bit later today. Let me get over onto the right account here. So hey everybody, we're gonna do some cleaning. I've got just a big pile of stuff that needs to be sorted and organized, stuff that we brought home for Hurricane Milton in case we needed it. And thankfully we didn't need most of it, but now I need the space and I got to get to my eBay pile of stuff, which is buried under a lot of this. So I'm gonna work on getting all of this organized and hanging out with you as we do it. So let's see if I can find it on here. I think I can pull this up. Awesome. Yeah, and then I can change it to all chat. So I'll have this going in a couple different places at once. So hopefully, if I see your chat either on the phone or if I see your chat on the laptop, we will be good. I noticed that you can see this thing doesn't want to hold it. Part of it cracked where it used to be able to tighten it or whatever. So anyway, we're going to be kind of going through all this. We got some of this is not hurricane stuff, just like my kids didn't put their stuff away. So that's kind of the nature of life with kids as well. So my goal is, and I know you won't be able to see me, but hopefully you'll be able to hear me because I'm on microphone coming off the screen. My goal is to put together a pile of stuff for the kids to take care of when they get home from school, and to have one, if not two carloads full of stuff ready to go over there. Hey, Aleem, thank you so much. Yeah, so it's nice, but we are super cluttered right now. We've got just a bunch of things. The hurricane came close to us. We lost power for a few minutes, but overall, we missed most of the main effects. Hi, Lix, how's it going today? So I'm just kind of undergoing the process of trying to start to piece things back together, get stuff out of the house that doesn't need to be in the house, and do that. So, but while I'm doing this, I'm doing an Ask Me Anything about any sort of side hustle. So I focus a lot on food delivery, gig delivery work, like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Instacart, as well as selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, some stuff on YouTube, and other side hustle things as well. Hey, Presley, how's it going? Good to see you. So we are cleaning the mess, our mess of hurricane supplies from Milton. So that's what I'm gonna be working on. So I'm gonna keep looking for comments, and so just feel free to start asking questions. I'm gonna be popping in and out of the screen because there's not an easy way to get everything in the screen the whole time. So, but I'll share a little bit too, because I think it's important to stay organized with things in life. So I'll share a little bit about how we're doing with organizational stuff. And so here's how I like to do it. I'm not saying it's the best way. My wife doesn't think that the way I do it is the best way, but I like to kind of clear out space as much as I can, and then I like to sort as I go. I try to touch things as few times as possible. Okay, so you might see me and it might look like I'm avoiding certain things, but that's because I don't know exactly where they are supposed to go. And until I know where they're supposed to go, I don't like to do too much with moving things multiple times. Instead, I'm going to find something like, okay, just got an empty bag. I don't even know why it was out, because when you just are stuck in a house for 3 days, that's how it happens. I know where the bags go, so I'm just going to put the empty bag right away. Again, single touch, put it away, then you don't have to see it, you don't have to deal with it anymore. And so this is what you see over here is our dining room table, but obviously we can't be dining on it right now. And so that's what I'm going to try to be slowly working my way to get back. And so again, see, you can see how like I pick something up, I don't know what to do with it, so I throw it back down. That's what you don't want to do as you're cleaning and different things like that. Crip, thanks for hanging out with us today. Can't read that on the air. Um, so we've got a couple things. We brought like our propane stove with us, so we have that out. We used to have a box for it, but we lost that a long time ago. So I think we just brought that over separate. But as we get under here, we brought out like our camping supply totes, because that has a lot of the stuff that we kind of need for that. And so what I'm going to be doing now, setting up my totes, kind of finding out what belongs in each tote. I have a label maker here too, so I might actually take some time to relabel the totes a little bit if I need to. So we had a lot of wind. We had a lot of hurricane wind. I would say about 24 hours of really strong wind, 60, 70 miles an hour. We did not get much rain at all here. There was quite a bit of storm surge downtown, and quite a few places very close to us, like blocks away from us, lost power for multiple days. But we only flickered on and off our power a couple of times over the couple of days. So in the sense of that, we made out fairly well. So I was pretty happy with the fact that we only ended up losing power really for minutes. And I mean, maybe it was longer over the night while we were sleeping, but and it would like blink on and off, like it was constantly resetting our power. But fortunately, we were able to miss the majority of the heaviest stuff that a lot of people faced with this. But with hurricanes, they can turn so quickly at the end. So we pretty much did a full prep of everything we were planning on doing. And so that's why now we have this big mess of things that we brought home in case we needed it. Like I have two 7-pound bags of ice. So world's best. I don't know what that thing is. It looks like a Cookie Monster turned into a Teletubby or something. Thanks for hanging out for us today. What's kind of interesting too is I see different messages show up on different platforms, which is just kind of interesting to me. I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's a setting. So anyway, just trying to work my way through here, figure out, I don't even know what is in all this stuff. I got bags. I think we have like store returns. We just have so many different things that were going on. And so I'm trying to just sort things as we go. And the whole idea here, even though I'm not doing it perfectly, is find something that you know where it belongs. So this is just like sheets and towel stuff. So I know where it belongs. I'm just going to pick it off and I'm just going to go put it away. And that way I'm not touching things multiple times. Because that's kind of the goal here, is you want to just work your way through the stuff, get it to where it needs to go, and then you don't have to touch it or see it again. And so certain things I don't know exactly where they go, but I know close enough to where they go so that I'm putting them there. And then try to not spend too much brain power on the stuff that you don't know too much. So we did have time to bust out our camp stove. I got to figure out how to try to put this whole thing back together because I don't exactly remember. I guess it's got to be that. It's got to be something like this. So It's always fun to bring out the camping stuff every once in a while, even though I don't get to go camping anywhere near as much as I used to. But, so there we go. That, let's see, and then I actually have a couple tote of propane stuff, so that's pretty simple because I know most everything that goes into that. It's just a matter of trying to get it all to actually fit in here. And then maybe bring that over the top. So yeah, that's what we're doing. But if you guys got any questions about anything side hustle wise or whatever, let me know. We'll answer those, or just want to hang out and say hi as you guys are coming in. Hopefully we have good internet connection at home. We didn't really ever lose internet other than as the power went out or whatever, but that wasn't too big of a deal most of the time. So if we go like that, I think I have like one more propane canister than I can actually get to fit in the thing. It's just a hair too small. But can I still? I just can't quite get the lid on, so we're gonna do like that. There's one whole thing. We're just set. We can get that completely piled up over here. So we have extra tables and stuff too. We brought those home. I'm trying to move this over just a little bit. See a little bit more. I didn't actually get to try out the lantern. I was kind of hoping we were going to lose power for a little bit. I know that's kind of like a weird thing, but it's like, I don't know. I think that just kind of like feels like an adventure. So I'm thankful we didn't have the damage, but at the same time, I was like slightly disappointed about certain things. Like, oh man. But kids still had the entire week off from school, so that was quite the experience. Because normally, when last year when we were homeschooling, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? If you don't have power, you could take the day off or whatever, but you just keep going. But when you are actually in a school and you're not homeschooling, and then you're stuck at home, it's kind of like, oh man, what do you do? So yeah, that's the dining room. So we staged the dining room was like our emergency preparedness center, and then we set up the propane stove out on the porch. So obviously you don't want to cook with propane inside if you don't have to. So we did that. We had hurricane shutters, so we closed those off during the windiest parts of the storm. And yeah, we just kind of staged in the dining room, and then we kind of have an area over by the laundry for when there were tornado warnings to get away from windows and stuff like that. So yeah, we have not been able to sit and have a family meal at the dining room table in well over a week. So that's part of the reason why I'm just trying to get this taken care of again. So yeah, just slowly trying to piece all the things together, get as much stuff out of here as we can get out of here. And like selfishly and from the business side, I've got stuff. So if you look over here, over in that pile is like my eBay stuff. And we sold eBay stuff over the weekend during the hurricane. We had the store on vacation mode, but I can't get to it. It's just too buried right now. So I can't even get to the eBay stuff, and I have to get that shipped out tonight so it's ready to go tomorrow morning. So that's part of what's going on with this. I mean, we had everything. We had the portable stoves, all sorts of portable stoves, water filtration. Of course, we have gallons of water that we bought too. So we were loaded. Hey, Scooby, thanks for hanging out with us today. I think you're on the wrong channel for that, though. All right, so we got camping stuff. I just don't. We used to have these totes all really organized, and that's the part that I actually don't know. I don't know how I want to do this. And this is definitely one of my weaker areas of just trying to do all this and really figure out things. We had a solar power charger too. I wonder if that's still actually out here on the porch. I don't know. I don't even know where that ended up. I don't think that's out there. So my wife started with some of the cleanup over the weekend. She kind of got our room taken care of, but there are certain things now that I don't know where they are. But I really actually wanted to try it because we bought this solar power charger a while ago and we hadn't actually used it. All right, so I know what most of that is. Most of that. Okay, so I'm going to start working on these totes a little bit. Let's see, I'll do that. Yeah, I always forget about this. See, like, I'm so naturally like a free speech person, Presley. That like I don't even think like the idea of moderating content doesn't even come to my head at first. It's just not like the thing I'm naturally wired for. I'm all about just open dialogue, but forget about the fact that yeah, for some people, open dialogue is not always the best thing. So, so I don't know if there's going to be a great way to kind of see down here, but I've got all these different camp totes, and so one of them's like a solid kitchen tote that has like kind of all that sort of stuff in there. And I don't think I need to do too much. It's basically full, and we didn't really have to take too much stuff out from there. Other than, so what we can do is a couple of smaller things. And like we have like grilling equipment, which doesn't really have a home anyway. So I think I'm going to try to squeeze that in there. Make sure it works. You see that? Always, before you put lighters away, just always make sure they work. So, no point in saving them if they're not going to help you the next time. But we're still good on that. So I think I'm going to try to squeeze that one. I think that's going to fit. All right, so that's the kitchen tote. And that actually is labeled, what is in it is what is actually in it. This one says lantern and tools, which is fine, because I need a place. I need a place for the lantern anyway. Where did I put that? It's on the ground. So we're just trying to regain some space, hanging out with you guys, answering questions. Now, we actually did open up just to try it out. We have this 5-gallon water container. So we purified a bunch of water before the hurricane. I don't know if I'm going to put that back in the box, but that's not going to be ready to go because we still have water in it. We got to drain it and dry it. So I think in this particular case, just throwing the rest of that stuff. Maybe I'll just leave that out. Let's see. I don't even know what the other one is labeled. Let's see. What is this one labeled? Oh, fire, water, and stuff sacks. Well, it does have kind of that. Let's see. So I can put the water purifier. That can go in there. Tornado. Yeah. I don't think they're really meant for like significantly long uses. I think they're really good if you're just going to set up camp. So if you're going to hike somewhere and set up camp and then use it and throw it out, but like I don't know, we'll probably keep it, but it does seem like, I mean, we used it for its purpose, right? The reason we got it was in case we ever need to store water for an emergency or something like that. My head's upside down. I know, man. I know. Head's upside down. All the hair went south for the winter, and apparently it's just going to be winter for the rest of my life. let's see. So this one, just trying to find homes. So, do any of you guys do camping? I used to hike and camp a lot, like lots of backpacking. It's still on my bucket list. I'd love to, when I'm old, but not too old, but like retired old, I'd love to try to hike the Appalachian Trail and just do the whole thing. Because I think, what is it? It's like if you leave like late winter from Georgia, you can get to Maine by fall. So you can basically get to hike the summer, so you don't have to hike through snow. Something like that. Thanks for hopping in, Kurt. Appreciate it. So that's on my list of things I want to do eventually. I got a buddy that I would love to do it with. So when we're both old and retired, but not too old and retired, that would be the goal. Of course, then you're going like super lightweight with everything. I would get like all fresh gear for that. You know, if you're just gonna be living out there, and I love the idea of trying to do that, and basically just live on the trail for the summer. Bring some cash with you, stop at a diner every now and then, but basically just, you probably pop in a Walmart, right, to buy some food. I'm sure there's at least convenience stores along the way. It's been a long time since I've even done a part of the Appalachian Trail, so I don't know exactly what that setup is like, but definitely on the future bucket list. All right, well, I know those go on the porch. I don't know where the tables are that they go on, but that's okay. All right, and kids all have their own backpacks, and I don't know where those are either. You guys ever have that problem when one person cleans up, they clean up their way, and then you clean up a slightly different way, and then you're really not sure where everything is? So I'm going to try to get done what I know I can do by myself. So this is my, it's just mainly for storage right now. This is my hiking backpack. I just figured if there was some reason that we had to evacuate quickly, it's like, well, I can carry more things on my back than anything else. So I'm like, I'll just bring it home. Doesn't get much love right now. So it is this a Kelty? I forget what brand this one is. The Comanche 6600. Let's see. Does it say what brand? Yeah, it's a Kelty. The Kelty Comanche 6600. Yeah, Caleb, we are all good. We made it through. Everything is pretty much back to normal. Everybody went back to school this week. So now I'm just trying to unbury my dining room. We also have like these emergency food buckets, you know. And I was like, well, what's the point of having them if you're not going to actually have them on hand? So I brought them back. Normally they live at the storage locker. So they're going to go back there. We also have some MREs that we have here that we're trying to actually get sold on Facebook Marketplace. But we're like, well, if we need them, we can eat them. But we tried them. It's like I get survival food as survival food, but you'd have to really be wanting to survive to use those. They're very sweet. All the salty meals were just very sweet. All right, let's see. We got another bag. I don't even know what's in this bag. Okay, this is just towels. And I don't know for sure, but I think they don't normally live here either. They're just extra old towels. So basically when they get home from school here in a couple hours, I'm going to load up the car with a bunch of this stuff and get it all out of here. Get it on over to the storage locker. So I'm sure I'm missing a few pieces, which is always a little annoying when you're doing stuff like this because you really don't want to have to make multiple trips. But now I'm going to do the thing, right? That isn't the greatest thing, but now that I have space on this table, now I can work to unbury my eBay stuff so I can get to the things that I actually need to get shipped. from over there. As well as I got a few things listed for eBay, and so I have to get them stored. So I have certain things that are going in my storage system, and then certain things that are coming out because they sold. So I had that. I don't know if any of you saw the video I did. I did a right before the hurricane came. I hit a garage sale up on my way home, and I spent $5 on 3 things and $5 total. And one was like an iPhone 4S. Just got that listed this morning. A Rock and Gem collection, which I listed for about $10, and then Modern Warfare 2 night vision goggles, and opened them up, and they were all kind of junked up. If they were working, and they'd be worth 50, 60, 70 plus, but I just took a quick offer on it for $20, so I got my money back on those. So that paid for everything. So even if the iPhone and the gemstones flop, I'll still make $10 or whatever. So it was a very low risk garage sale, dealing in stuff I didn't know too much about, but I felt confident looking at comps that even in broken condition it would have some value. So that's one of the things that I have to get shipped out for tomorrow as well. So I'm getting all this stuff. We'll get it out of the house and we'll unbury the eBay stuff that has sold, and then I'll work on getting that shipped. And at some point, I don't know, I may even change this over to more of a eBay shipping, because this is probably the best place I have to do it. Now here's the interesting thing. I have a lid there. Okay, so that lid goes with this tote. I guess I can just throw that back in there. I don't really have to have that here. And then these go with their bags, but I don't know where their bags are. So I wonder if they're buried somewhere over here. I don't know. I'm just going to put that in the kid pile for them to sort through. I had a return too, a very disappointing return, so I haven't even gotten to open that. So yeah, but at least we got a good chunk. And then some of this other stuff on the table, I have a spot for it to go, but there's already stuff that's going to the storage locker in that spot. So I'm going to move that stuff out, and then we'll get the rest of the table cleared off. It's a combination of Facebook Marketplace stuff and returns. We have some returns to Target and Walmart that we need to get done, as well as some other stuff. So that's what we've got. But you can see, if you saw the video earlier today, where the whole table was cleared, even really at the beginning of this video, sorry, this thing is barely holding on. We got the vast majority of everything cleaned up from over there. So that was our command center. That was our emergency response center that we had during the hurricane for us. So everybody knew where everything was. We also had an electronics table that we had set up in our room too. So we had everything, all of our batteries, everything was charging. We just kind of put all of that stuff all in one spot. To do that doesn't normally do that. So we got that all taken down. So I would say we're 90% cleaned up now from the hurricane, and we'll get that stuff out to the storage locker, and then do like the kind of the deeper cleaning, the wiping down of tables and everything like that. So if you got any other questions while you're hanging out with us on Side Hustle Stuff, please let me know. I got to do a little unburying. Okay, so we got some different things. We sold some stuff. It's a little sad. We sold our Roomba, but we're trying to cut back on all of our clutter. So I've got a little prep that I got to do with this, but it's all basically ready to go. I'm just going to throw it in a giant poly bag. So that's one of my things. So anytime I can get rid of large clutter from the house, I'm quite happy with that. I mentioned these just a few minutes ago. Got these sold yesterday. I'm sure if I had really worked to figure out how to use them and everything like that. Yeah, I have MREs. We actually got them after the last hurricane. And so we have MREs, and we also have just like the long-term, like freeze-dried food supply. So, but anyway, these are Modern Warfare 2 night vision goggles, but they were all kind of junked up, and I was like, I only spent $5 on the whole lot. So when I do that, like goal number one is just get your $5 back as quick as possible. Yeah, yeah. The ones that we have, they're super sweet. I wish they were not as sweet. Like, it feels like they just put sugar in them just to put sugar in them. I know it's. I understand it's for carbs and you need it for survival sort of stuff. But man, they were rough. The ones that we have, they're rough. We have the APAC ready meals, and so. But we also have food buckets as well. We have, I don't know, for our family, we probably have 60 days worth of food buckets and MREs right now, and we did not have to break into them for this. So, tornado, were you kind of in down Louisiana way for Katrina? I think that was where it hit, right? I was like kind of right in that area. There's more towels, which I don't think need to stay here as well. Yeah, I mean, for what they do, they're nice to have. They sure are nice to have. Um, so we brought them here though because like, what's the point of having them but not actually accessible if something crazy did happen and we got stuck? So, all right, let's see. I don't even know actually what I gotta see what stuff I has actually sold on eBay. I know some of it's sports card stuff, which is over in the other office, but I've got I got 12 orders, so that's actually pretty good. Uh, but we shut down the eBay store all the way through. Oh yeah, I sold a disc golf disc. Okay, so I think everything is. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so I gotta find one more thing. So the stuff that's out here is the Roomba, but I can't even get to where that disc golf is right now, so I gotta do that. Yes, like and subscribe, absolutely. And thank you, Tornado. Thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate it. So I gotta move some stuff down here. Okay, that doesn't really belong up here anyway. It has to go somewhere else. Don't know where. Kids were up early today, but they still didn't get all their laundry folded before school. So I'm like stepping over their laundry piles too. Oh. So I gotta go find that. So we got those night vision goggles. Then this was the other thing we got from the garage sale. We listed this for about $10 with $6 shipping. Nothing crazy. The kids are enjoying looking at it and seeing different types of gemstones and stuff. Anyway, so for the educational purposes alone, that was good enough. And then over in the office, I listed the iPhone that we got. It's in really rough shape, so which is why you just can't be. I'll show you guys what it looks like here in a second. Just gonna get a bag to put it in, just for storage purposes and stuff. So it was just a used iPhone. It's stuck on the hello screen. This is all this black is like the screen is all just junk. It doesn't work there, and I don't know if you can see, but there's like angles down the bottom as well too. So it's messed up. I tried doing a reset, but it's still tied to the original person's, iCloud email address or whatever. So whatever. I think we put it up 20, $20, maybe. I mean, I'll probably just take the first person who throws $10 at me. But that's why if you're dealing with stuff at a garage sale, especially stuff that you're not an expert in, as long as you get it cheap, then it doesn't matter. So I got 3 things for $5 and already sold one of the things for $20. So now it's like, even if the other two are just a total bust, then it's fine. Like, we're still made out okay with everything. All right. So do want to get that away in there. And then I don't remember. So I have an inventory system for everything I list as well. So that way, when it sells, I don't have to go hunting too far. So on eBay, you can create a custom SKU. But what I don't know is I don't actually know which SKU I assign to these gemstones, if I put them in box 1 or box 2. So before I put them in the wrong box, I'm going to just double check my SKU. And then I'll probably, it's kind of a fragile case. Let's see, where'd it go? It's going in box 1. So, because I don't want the case to break, because that's kind of the, as much as I hate to say, it's kind of the collectability. Hey, Too Evil, how's it going? I'm gonna bubble wrap this thing up. Not like ready to ship bubble wrap, but just to put a layer of protection over it so the case doesn't crack in storage. Then it's going in box 1, which is still buried over there. So what we're doing here, everybody, is we're just unburying the living room. You guys are awesome. Unburying the living room, and I'm trying to get to my eBay sales. So I got to find my disc golf disc that I sold. Oh, I know. Actually, no, the bubble wrap is out here, and I think I have like 1 or 2 pieces left on this one roll that I just want to get rid of. I'm a finisher. Are any of you guys like finishers? Like I love finishing things. More so, I used to, like when I was younger, I used to like starting new things. But I've realized that really what I like is I just like finishing things. So like finishing an old roll of bubble wrap just makes me so happy. It's like I feel like I've seen it around for so long. It's like, I just want to be done with it. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to throw it in a poly bag too, just to keep it all together. And I'll wrap it more secure when it's time to actually ship. Some people like to pre-ship all their stuff. I don't like to do that because sometimes you end up donating stuff, and it's like then you put all the work in to it, and it's like, okay, but then you just end up donating it, so you've wasted all that time. And then sometimes people buy multiple items too, and so it's like, well, then you have to kind of repack it anyway. But in this case, I don't want the plastic to break, so I'm going to just throw it in a poly bag here real quick, and then we're going to unbury box 1 of my eBay stuff, and I can find my disc golf disc. No, I know it's in there somewhere. All my nice disc golf discs I've collected just by like finding in random places and stuff like that. They were never like given to me, just all found ones, but we haven't been playing much recently, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sell. Just sell, get rid of stuff, clear out space. And I have more things to list here too. I got a couple of computers. They're pretty old. I would say they're probably 10 years old, but I don't know. Maybe they have some value. So what I like to do is I like to just get stuff listed on eBay. So these are like an old Lenovo computer and an old Acer, I think. So I'm gonna have to do some work with those. And obviously you're not looking for huge money, just kind of look up and try to find out what the market is on that sort of thing. All right, what else do we have to do to unbury this? Oh, well, these are the tables that go out on the porch. All right, so one of my other finding thing tips. So if you ever have trouble finding things, most of you probably know, just go back to where you last remember seeing it. Okay, so I always start there. But I would say a favorite scary movie. So for me, so I'm not a big like horror movie fan, but I'm nostalgic about like the original Scream movie because that was probably the first horror movie that I ever saw. And so it's not so much about the movie as it is about just like the memory of watching it with like, I don't know, high school friends or junior high friends. I don't even know what year it came out. Hold on, I'm gonna get these tables out here. Though I did watch last year, last year or 2 years ago. I didn't even watch the whole thing, but I watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space because I was selling. I saw some of the stuff was selling really well on like eBay and Amazon, and So I was like, you know what? This movie sounds so weird that I might as well at least understand it a little bit so I could understand which characters and what sort of props. Because this was like for Halloween. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, selling some of the costume stuff from them. And so I watched a little bit of it. It was pretty hokey, old. Like, not, I wouldn't really call it scary, but it's like I don't know, it's just not scary now because of the real world is scarier than most movies. Um, so, anyway, so if you're hunting for something, so always start with go back to where you last remember seeing it. I bought bubble wrap because it was on clearance at Walmart the other day. So I wanted to be set up at least for the next month or two. But the second thing is this is don't necessarily, especially if you're trying to hunt for something in a messy place, don't spend all your time hunting for the thing. Just spend your time cleaning up. Spend your time cleaning up. And when you do that, a lot of times you're going to come across the stuff that you're looking for. So if I had spent my time hunting for those tables that go out on the porch, I would have spent a good chunk of time hunting for them. But instead, I'm spending my time cleaning up, and as I'm cleaning up, then I find the tables. And so obviously, like, it's not like they're going to be lost. They're not like a small item like that, but it's just kind of a good principle that I've always appreciated. All right, that can come down here because we don't need that there. Got stuff I got to get shipped to my buddy. All right, what do we got here? That needs to go in this. And I think for now, I'm just kind of stand this up. So we're going to try to do that. And see if I can find my disc golf discs that are supposed to be in here. Now we'll see how well my system works. There we go. Any of you guys disc golfers? So this is a putter. So I sold this. The one I found disc golfing years and years ago. But it's like the older version. It's like the desired version. It's like super soft. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like most disc golf discs are like a very hard plastic. This is a super soft. It's just like it's soft. It's almost rubber. And maybe it is rubber. I don't know. But this particular one is an older version, and it's in much higher demand. So got $30 for this disc. So I was pretty happy about that. So love taking stuff that you just have laying around the house that's not doing anything, turn it into cash, and then you can start using that money to start funding other things. So those are the 3 non-sports card sales that I had. So the Modern Warfare 2 night vision goggles, I think you can see that. I know I showed them up close earlier. Our old Roomba, which I still have the original box, the original shipping box, and then disc golf discs. So those are 3 things I'm going to work to get shipped here. They all have to go out tomorrow. And yeah, so that's about it. So now we got everything, the main stuff unburied. Oh, so then you talk about like how do you, what are ways that you can maybe even monetize the stuff that you're making money on? So on Deliver That, I've done 2 different catering orders for Polo Tropical, and neither place wanted the catering bags. So then I looked. There wasn't a lot. Panera catering bags sell on eBay, but I didn't see any for these. So I was like, well, I'll just put them up. I probably need to lower the price. I just guessed on the price because there's no comps. So I just guessed on it. But I think I have like 5 of these catering bags. These are like the reusable type of bags, and they're really big or whatever. So it's a way you can take something, you go out, you make a delivery for a catering order, and then they don't want the bags, so save the bags. And I did 2 of them. I think I had five total, and I just lotted them up, throw them up all on eBay. And it's like, I might make more on selling the catering bags than I did from the actual catering order, if depending on what it sells for. You know, the comps are definitely in the range of, you know, for Panera bags, like $30 to $40. So always try to be finding ways. And I'm going to be spending, as we go into like 2025, purple burger. I don't even, what is the purple burger? I've been hearing so much about the Krabby Patties at Wendy's and that they're like a disappointment, I guess. But I don't know about the purple burger. I'm going to have to go research that. But going into 2025, we're going to talk a lot because my focus going in next year is how do you monetize everything that you do? How can you find out ways to basically just be constantly monetizing the things that you do, and ideally monetizing things 2 or 3 times over. So, for example, even if you have to go grocery shopping, right, you can monetize that a little bit if you want to by doing product reviews, by taking those things. Yeah, yeah, those aren't the insulated ones. They're like for hot. They're like, but then you put them in your main catering bag to keep everything hot. But they are very durable. I mean, they were holding. Those were heavy. I mean, it was beans and rice that those things were holding. They were heavy. What made Dave Ramsey proud. But find ways to monetize as the things that you're doing. So you can scan receipts. Of course, we always use the Fetch app here. I don't have a link down in the description, but it's in some of my other videos, right? So you can scan receipts. You can turn the making of your meals into videos that you can teach people how to cook. You can do fun sketches, like, but try to find ways to be constantly monetizing as you monetize. So you're stacking things up as much as you possibly can. And I really just want to encourage you in finding different ways. So like, even in this case, it's like, okay, I need a little extra motivation, so I'm going to go online, go live with you guys. Obviously, we're not monetized as a channel yet, but it's the same principle of like, I'm not just cleaning, I'm also hanging out with you, I'm also answering questions, also helping build the YouTube channel while getting stuff done. And so finding ways to stack things on top of it more and more. Oh, the Addams Family. Okay, I'm going to have to check that out. I have not done much restaurant delivery for the last 2 weeks. I spent almost all of my time doing grocery delivery. So I did a lot of Instacart, and actually I did a lot of Shipt right before the hurricane because there were just so many orders. And I'm discovering the power of Shipt. The power of Shipt is when you can shop for 4 or 5 orders at once, and they're all basically being delivered to the same thing in a variety of different time frames. So that worked out really well. I had a couple of, $40 hours on Shipt, but it's just taken a while. But you have to have, it's just rare circumstances that it works. But if you have enough orders and they're all going the same direction, you're shopping them all at the same store, and they have to be delivered at different time frames, it worked out really well. Tips haven't been great on Shipt. They've been hit or miss. There have been good tippers and not good tippers. But yeah. Yes, we have power. We flickered quite a bit the day of the storm. I still think there's a handful of people in our county without power, and of course, the further north you go from us, up. So we're Naples, so the further north you go, like up towards Tampa, Sarasota, obviously, there's lots of places there without power. I think they said at the peak there were 4 million people without power, and I heard this morning we're down to 200,000 people in Florida without power. So, all things considered, I think that's actually pretty good, especially considering how many of our linemen were up in like Georgia and Tennessee helping from Helene. The fact that we were able to get power restored this quickly means either they were able to pull linemen from somewhere else or they returned them enough to get them back home. So that was nice. It was nice. Now our power pole, I posted a short too. Our power pole up in front has been like sizzling and like sparking and everything. So it's probably not a priority for them because we still have power, but it is a little unnerving when you go outside in the morning and it sounds like a bug zapper and you see sparks coming out from the pole. So I'm not going to bug them about it too much. I'll give them a couple, give them this week. And if it's still kind of buzzing next week, maybe I'll let them know. But I know the priority is restoring power and then they'll fix all the other things. But it's a little disconcerting having a buzzing, sparking power pole out in front of your house. All right, well, I think I'm actually about done with what I can do out here, unless I bring that stuff out. I guess it doesn't matter too much. Yeah. So let's see, where do I want to set? There's probably more room out here than there is, but I gotta grab another computer. Maybe not to grab another computer. I'm gonna have to print out from another computer. Let's see. So this is the part that's still a little discombobulated. Not everything is working, but I know what I can do. I can work on getting this stuff prepped at least out here. I won't even worry. They're all unique enough that I'm not super worried about things. So we've got our disc. Now this isn't particularly fragile, but for shipping, I'm still going to do, it's more about presentation sometimes with shipping than it is about the actual protection of the items. And so what I mean is you just want to make sure that the customer sees that you took good care of them. And so I always think it's to your benefit to slightly overpack and, still keep an eye on weights because you don't want to do more than you have to. And again, most of my shipping supplies are in the office. Here, I'll turn the camera a little bit here. So most of my shipping supplies are in the office, so I'm going to have to be going back and forth. But that's all right because the office has not been put back together yet either. We just kind of make it work. All right. So in this case, this is what we're going to call our overpacking. We're going to bubble wrap it. We're going to poly bag. And I'm always a fan of just throwing things in a poly bag, especially because everything we send from Florida, there's a decent chance it's going to get rained on anyway. So it's like, it doesn't matter if the disc golf disc gets wet, but if it gets wet, it might matter to the customer that you didn't prepare it that way, because no one wants to open up something that they spent their money on getting wet. So, and then I have two options here. Option one is I could just throw it in straight in a mailer bag. Option two is I can cardboard sandwich it, and some of those things were going to depend on the status of the order. And in this particular case, this order, they spent $30 plus shipping on this disc. So because they're paying up because it's a nicer thing, I'm going to go ahead and cut cardboard for this as well. So I'm going to grab, I got some piece of cardboard over here. Again, normally I ship out of the office, but I don't have the space right now to do that. So I have like good cardboard boxes. Let's see, I think there's some new comments up here. How's it going, Shane? How's it going, Tracy? How's it going? So I did clean up the first part of the stream, just cleaning up my area in and around, I forget what's on this box, in and around the dining room to try to get it. Now I'm working on shipping out some of the eBay stuff that sold during the hurricane. So it doesn't actually have to go out today. It just needs to hit the mail tomorrow. So the first thing is a disc golf disc. You would not have to cardboard, we call them cardboard sandwiches. You wouldn't have to do this for something like this. That's totally optional, but when I'm dealing with customers who are, anytime the order gets much over the $20, I really like to try to make sure I go above and beyond on the shipping. When I'm selling baseball cards for $1 or $2, they just go in a little protector and they go in the mail. But you can just cut up 2 pieces of cardboard like this. And I mean, I've done this for all sorts of things. I've done this for everything from, toys. Sometimes electronics you can do it, depending on the size and the shape. And the benefit to it is it weighs less than actually boxing it. Okay, so because if you have a box, there's a lot of extra cardboard that it just has to exist in order to make the box. But when you're doing a cardboard sandwich, you don't need all that extra cardboard. And if you're doing this with something that has like really fragile corners, obviously a disc golf disc doesn't even have corners, but then you could go around and you could add extra bubble wrap onto each of these corners. It all 100% depends on what you're trying to do here. So So just really, really simple shipping on that. All right, so that was one. That's the easiest one. And I'm always a fan of snowballing. Just start with whatever's the easiest and then go from there. Now this one technically might be a little harder to do than the Roomba, but that's what we got. So type type W in the chat for the win. Yeah, so I'm a Mets fan, and so the Mets won yesterday. We beat the Dodgers, and one of the guys I follow on YouTube is like, "Spam those W's in the chat. Spam those W's in the chat." All right. So what are we gonna do here? I don't have a good box for this. The way I see it, even though it's one unit and it is connected, I kind of see this as two separate parts. This is where the battery pack goes. So I'm going to protect this separately from this, and then we'll kind of merge it all together, and then maybe we'll so we'll probably do multiple layers of bubble wrapping here. Basically, is what I'm saying. We're gonna now, if I wanted to, I could polybag the whole thing first. Let me see. Does that make sense? Sometimes that makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. I think we're going to be good enough to not. We'll do that later on. All right. All right, so there's that. And now we'll get maybe 3 more squares. We'll kind of wrap this around like that. Of course, being very careful not to actually tape anything onto the product itself. That would be a reason why you might want to polybag something like this first, is that if the tape slides. But if this were in better condition, then I might do that. But the fact that we sold this for parts or repair means I don't want to spend quite as much on it. Who's still here? There's people here. The numbers say there's people there. They're just watching. They're just they're so enthralled by all your posting things. So we'll try, I think 3 more. I think we'll try that. And then we definitely will be using more cardboard here too in a moment. Now, if I was selling a bunch of similar items, I would probably either want to print the shipping labels right away or label them, but these 3 things are so distinct from anything else, there's not going to be any confusion as to, like, wait, is that a disc golf disc or a Roomba? Like, yeah, you're both round, but it's pretty easy to tell the difference. All right, so, but just, yeah, this is like simple stuff. So this type of stuff is the type of stuff that I would encourage you if you're just looking to start on eBay. Okay, the disc golf disc was one that I've had. It's just been sitting in our storage locker, not doing anything. Sold it for $30. The Roomba has been our Roomba. We've used it for years. Probably paid a couple hundred. Still sold it for like 80 or 90. Got that sold. And then these Modern Warfare night vision goggles I picked up at a garage sale as part of a lot for $5 total for the lot, and did that. So this is what you can do. If you're just looking to start eBay, you don't have to start by spending any money at all, and certainly not a lot of money. And so that's just kind of a cool thing about eBay, is you can just start with what you're at, and then as you make a little bit of money, set it aside and put it towards something else. Boo. Is that boo for the Mets? Hey, I've been a Mets fan my whole life. And I've gotten to celebrate one world championship my entire life. Pair that with the fact that I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. They have not won a championship in my lifetime. The only bit of run of championships I ever got, because I'm also a Miami Hurricanes football fan. So as a Miami Hurricanes football fan, we owned a good chunk of the 90s, 80s into the 90s, I guess. And then we got I don't know, one or two more in the early 2000s. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm long suffering. Like, I'm so glad because the Dolphins season, unless Tua comes back and makes like a miracle recovery here, like the Dolphins season feels like it's over. And, so at least the Mets are going to win as long as they're going to win. So we'll take it. So we can take this same size cardboard here, figure out which way. Now there's a couple ways you can do it. I'm gonna look because I have another bigger piece here because I'm gonna need a second piece either way. So whenever I cut down boxes, some of my bigger shipping boxes that go to Amazon, I'll save like some of the larger chunks of cardboard because I know there's times and opportunities to use them. I think this might be a perfect time. So we're gonna just basically fold this whole box up, right? So now we made our own box. And so taking some extra cardboard that could have been recycled, but instead of throwing it out, now all we just did is we just rolled it. So as long as your cardboard box, right? And that works essentially like a box. Now it doesn't have the sides in it, but then there's two ways you can either, if you want to, if you care about it, you could just tape insides like this. In this particular case, I'm not worried about it. So I'm not gonna worry about adding anything more to this. We're just trying to protect the outside. And then, but I'll show you one other trick because you might say, well, what if it slides out? Well, there's a way to make sure it doesn't slide out. So we bubble wrapped the two individual parts, and we bubble wrapped the whole thing together. And now we polybagged it. And the polybagging it is the trick. Because now what you can do is you can take a piece, your packing tape, and you roll it over on itself, double side it, right? And you just put it down. And you do that on the top. And again, we didn't do this with the Frisbee because it just doesn't matter that much for that. That one's more, we're just doing it for the aesthetics because it's a customer who paid a high amount, even though there's not really a lot of potential damage there. Okay, but now that we have all this back in, so now we're not going to move because we've taped it in the top and the bottom. And so you can do it. Again, you can still, depending on the value of the item, you can still add more if you want. All right, you just got to remember that as you start working your way up, obviously then weights can increase a little bit, and that can lead to higher shipping costs and stuff. So you want to be balancing how much, well, first of all, how much time you spend, right? You don't want to spend forever shipping a $20 item. Okay, but then also the value of the item. So, but I did essentially the same thing I don't know, a month ago or so. I sold some iPads. And so instead of, I'm not going to cardboard up the sides, but I'll just throw an extra piece of tape on just to kind of hold it down firmly. I did the same thing. I bubble wrapped the iPads, made cardboard sandwiches out of them. And then the only thing I did different there versus here was then I think I ended up bubble wrapping the cardboard sandwich. So there was a second layer of bubble wrap. So now we got our night vision goggles, spent $5. And sold them for 20 plus shipping. So that pays for the whole lot. Even though it wasn't working, if they were working, it would have been great. But that's it. So that's done with that. Techno Sports, no, I have not. I don't. Is that a channel or is that an actual thing? I mean, about the only types of games that I enjoy watching people play is chess. I've been thoroughly enjoying watching people play chess. So I don't know if that's a video game watching channel or if that's something different. I'd have to check it out otherwise. Oh, Tekken Sport. Oh, sorry. I see that now. Tekken Sports. Yeah. So Daily Refinement, Tekken Sports, and Daily Refinement. Sorry. Totally. Yep. I got you now. Yeah, so I'm subscribed on at least on one of my channels. I'm subscribed to the Daily Refinement, and that's his name is Chris, I think, and does that. Yeah, and Tekken Sports is retiring, right? I believe he is. Sorry, I see, we've got bad eyes, which is funny because he sells clothing. He doesn't. I mean, he probably used to sell Tekken Sports stuff, but he he's retiring though, right? I think he's. I don't know if he's like quitting altogether, but he's like winding down his store. So yeah, that's funny. One letter can make a big difference. Tekken Sports versus Techno Sports. But there's a YouTube channel for you too. I'm sure there's plenty of streamers already doing that. Yeah, no, so when I do clothing, and I do a lot less clothing now than I used to, but I really like his format of how he um, measures it and just does it in the pictures and stuff. It saves so much time. So having those efficiencies with that sort of stuff, absolutely. Like, yes. Yes, Tekken Sports and Daily Refinement. So if you're they partner together. They're two separate channels, but Daily Refinement, I think, as a channel, has been around a lot longer. But yeah, if you want to deep dive eBay, that's a great place to go. Either one, Tekken Sports or Daily Refinement. Um, but if you're really like the mindset stuff, so like we talk a lot about mindset on here regarding those things. Mindset with eBay selling is huge on Daily Refinement. Yep, yep, that's exactly it. I know a bunch of people like that's just they just made a full time living just starting, and that's like I used to do. I used to be full time. I was a full time Amazon seller, and then just life happened and made some mistakes, and now we're trying to get back on it. But yeah, this is 100% one of the best ways. And the other great thing about it, like eBay and Amazon as a side hustle, I'll tell you I did have a nice Amazon find the other day too. I'll tell you that in a second. Is if you do the work, then these products can be selling for you while you're still making money at your other jobs. And so I've highlighted it on my ride-alongs and stuff, but it's really cool when I'm out there delivering food and then I'm making sales on eBay or Amazon. So I did find, I did a shipment 3 boxes in to Amazon here, like about a week before the hurricane. Got it shipped in. So finally got everything checked in. Well, one of them was like LOL dolls. They're dolls, whatever. But it was like this set, and it was like $100 set, and I found it on clearance at Walmart for 30, and they had 4 of them, and I didn't even have like I had to take a little extra because I didn't have that much extra cash, and so I bought them, bought all 4, sent them in, and they all sold the first day they checked in for $100 a piece. So and I think I clear like 70 after everything after fees. I think I clear 70, so turn 30 into 70 times 4, so turn 120 into 280. It's really cool. Too evil. I just harvest the children's tears when I buy all the hot and popular toys at Christmas. That's all you need to do. Just harvest their tears when it's out of stock because some bad reseller bought all their stuff. So, all right. So then we got the Roomba here. Let me see. That has an address label, but that address label was the original. We bought this one off of Amazon. So I don't think I have any personal info on here. And everything in there is already in there. So what I don't know is, they make giant shipping bags, by the way, in case you didn't know. This one actually has like some speakers in it that I need to get listed. This looks so huge. I want to say this is probably like 3 foot by 4 foot. So if you want to ship big things, they make a poly bag for that. So, but I don't know if I have the right size for my Roomba box. So I think what I'm gonna do, so you can double box things, but then your weight starts to go up quite a bit. I think what I'm gonna do is just bubble wrap it both directions. I'm gonna see if I have a poly bag here that's big enough to fit the box in first. And so I'm gonna do that. And then if I don't, I don't know what I'll do. I may just have to wait and grab what I need from the storage locker later. I don't think I have the right size here. Those all look too small. Well, let me see. Maybe I'll just try bubble wrapping around it first anyway. But even before I'd still want poly bagged, right? So just for waterproofing purposes, I'd still want to have it poly bagged at whatever point in time. But just kind of a great example of how you can just take stuff either cheap from garage sales, or stuff lying around your home, get it listed. You know those night vision goggles. Yeah, I probably could have gotten more for them, but I got them sold within 24 hours of actually getting them listed. You know, the Roomba only took about a month. You know, the disc golf disc only took about a month. And so it's really nice to just have stuff, price it right, mark it right, and if it's not selling, then just move the price down, keep it moving, and doing that sort of thing. So let's see. I don't think I got too much else. I have the start of my next Amazon shipment here. I got stuff I've got to get sent to my buddy. Clear that out of the house. So yeah, I think that's really about it. It's about all I have. My other project is sorting out a bunch of papers and stuff in the other room, and that'd be really boring. You guys want to watch me sort papers? We can try if you want. Probably need some sort of motivation to do that. I have like just to get like backlogged on. It's just I don't know. It's not all junk mail, but it's kind of junk mail. And then instead of just throwing it out, it just builds up. So I can't really show a lot of it because some of it's like bill stuff and everything. Of course, has our address on it. But we can. Let me see if I can figure out how to set this up here. I also need a new case. My case, I can't show it to you because it's on this phone, but it is like falling apart massively. But that costs money. All right, let's see. And I can only sit and do this. Like I'm just doing this on the ground because it's the only space I had to spread out. Like I said, I can't show you, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18 piles plus a full trash can of papers stuff. I'm like hyper crazy and end up shredding all this stuff. Anything that has like my address on it. All right, let me see if I can find a way to set this up here. Got the ground. Ugh. All right, yeah, I guess this is gonna work. I can't sit here for too long because like my legs start falling asleep and stuff like that. I also have like a boatload of receipts. So for a while, I know this sounds really dumb, but for a while we were saving like all the receipts from like shopping for Instacart and stuff like that. And I don't know why. I think I had read somewhere that we were supposed to save it, but anyway, you don't really need to save those receipts. Once it's delivered, then you're pretty much set. All right, so I kind of need. I'm also trying to find a couple of receipts. I think most of these are ours now at this point. But we had like some nice piles and the hurricane came, and then we just ended up just everything got dumped into boxes. We were like, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. But I bet I still have some big piles of receipts and other stuff like that. Oh, this is, in theory, I love the concept of filing papers and stuff like that, but in practice, it's not my jive. That's for sure. Some of these things I just don't know what to do with it, and I've never figured out a good system for all these sorts of things. All right, do we have more papers? I know what to do, like some of this stuff. I know what to do with the junk mail, or at least what pile it's going in. Let's see. That's going there. Anytime there's stuff going in the trash makes me happy. move the trash can over here. So yeah, just the plain old mundane part of life, right? Just filing stuff, and I don't know when people have time to do all this in the real world. Because I sure don't. I'm sure some of you are just like really good at like, hey, I just take care of this right as it comes in the house. Not me. So like anything that has like my name or address on it, I shred. It probably doesn't really matter. It probably doesn't help a thing other than just I feel good about myself. But anything and everything that's taken up space in your life that doesn't need to be in there, you should evict it. Kick it out. Don't let it hang around. I think we need to save that. Yeah, see, this pile here is like, I don't know if it's all, but it's like mostly Instacart receipts and stuff. So basically just save it for the day. And then once it's no longer needed, then just move on. Move on with life. I get tired too. This is super awesome life of a hustler, right? Going through paperwork, throwing out receipts, sorting, organizing. So anyway, if you got any questions, I think I can, I don't know, it's still a little small from where I'm at, but I can answer any questions. You got any side hustle questions or anything like that? Oh, some of this. This is the recent stuff I just did. All right, that's kind of important-ish. If you're buying stuff to resell, make sure you keep those receipts for tax purposes. So these receipts are not from super long ago at all. They're very recent. At least that section. Let's see. That one actually was ours. Gas receipts are ours. That looks like ours as well. I think that one's that one. Some of these I have no idea. They can't be that important, right? They're just receipts for food and groceries. Really not much you can do. but I totally hate just throwing stuff out without looking at it, like, as if it's going to make some sort of difference. That one's ours. So the key thing is, as much as possible, don't let this stuff come in the house. Don't be like me. Yeah, that was just from last week. I remember that. Junk. I don't shop at Sam's Club, so I can get rid of that. I think, if all goes well, I'm going to be shopping for Amazon tomorrow. If all goes well. If all goes as planned. Time to get my next shipment out. Got one out 2 weeks ago, didn't get one out last week because the hurricane. That's ours too. Don't shop at Fresh Market other than for other people. What are we at? We're at 2:20. I'll hang out for like another 10 minutes in case anybody else has any other questions. And then I think I'm going to scooch. That was ours. I don't think any of that is ours. That's just a Dymo label thing. Don't need that. Almost to the bottom of one tote. Ugh. Tote's falling apart. I got these like white pieces all over me here. I don't think we need that. We return that book. Don't think we need those. Don't need the watermelon. Don't need those. That one might have been us. Yeah, that was last week's. Our pre-hurricane shopping. That was also last week's. Well, I feel pretty good about that. This has other receipts. These are not going to be as much. This will probably just be a mix. Gross amounts of unsorted receipts. I don't think I actually need that one either. No go on Lowe's. It helps because of the stores that I shop at for Instacart, there's probably only three: Costco and Publix and Target are about the only three that I actually shop at personally or for our family that I also shop at for Instacart. So at least for the most part, if it's anywhere else, if it's Sprouts or Fresh Market, it's going to be Instacart, and I don't really do any Walmart shopping for anybody else. So then it's usually me. I don't think that's mine. Don't think that one's mine. Some of this stuff, I don't know. Okay, that's expired registration. All right, so I'm going to hang out for about 5 more minutes, and then I got to get some other stuff organized here after this. So thank you all for hanging out with me today. These lives from home just work so much better because the internet is so much more consistent. I know they're not as fun. I wish I could find a good solution. But anyway, at least we got to hang out for today, so appreciate y'all hanging out. Pretty sure that was ours. That's ours. That's junk. Ours. And sadly, some of this stuff is probably going to end up right back in a tote at the end of the day, so it's not out the whole time. But I will probably at least bag them into sections. Sometimes you can't finish the project, but you don't want to be staring at the project, so that's probably what is going to happen here. No smoked salmon for us. Probably not. You don't really buy stuff from CVS or Walgreens because they're a ripoff. Don't save your Instacart receipts. Save them till you complete the drop off successfully. And then after that, be done. All right, I'm going to get through this receipt pile with you. And then I think we're going to skedaddle for the day. Hopefully you got some good tips on some eBay shipping, some good tips on how to just sort and organize areas that are a little bit overwhelming. Another video earlier today. We also got stuff up on the Patreon too. Patreon.com/AsideOfHustle. Got some stuff for the free members as well as for the paid members. So we've got a lot of content going out over there as well. So Anyway, appreciate you guys. I think though, at this point, we're gonna be done for the day. So I appreciate all you. Oh, I gotta bring it closer here so I can get this. Appreciate all you. Thank you so much. Purple Purple Whopper was nothing special. It wasn't even grape flavored. Don't poke the big bear with a short stick. Yes. Then same receipts. Yeah. So make sure you contact your tax professionals. There are certain circumstances where you legally can, certain ones that you legally can't. I say just anytime you need to, just make sure you have a friend with you, and make sure you're having business lunches. That's for sure one way to cover it. But so anyway, appreciate you guys. I will talk to you all again soon.